Listen, pause for just a moment. Not tomorrow. Not later. Right now. Because something inside you already knows this is not random. This is not just another video, not just another message passing through your screen while you scroll endlessly. Half aware, half distracted. No, this moment feels different, doesn't it? There's a weight to it. A pull you cannot explain. A quiet urgency pressing against your spirit, almost as if something, or someone, is calling your name from beyond what your eyes can see. And here you are. Out of all the millions of people scrolling right now, this message found you. Why? Why at this exact second? Why today? Why before tonight, before 11:59 p.m.? Because heaven does not move randomly. Heaven moves with precision. And this is a divine interruption. You were not meant to miss this. You may have been scrolling quickly. Maybe you were about to skip. Maybe your thumb even hesitated for a split second, deciding whether to keep going or to stop. But something stopped you. Something told you, wait, watch this. And you listened, even if you don't fully understand why. That was not coincidence. That was alignment. Because August 8th is not just another day on the calendar. It is a marked moment. A spiritually charged window where something has already been set in motion with your name attached to it. And the reason this message feels urgent, the reason it feels almost intense, is because there is a deadline attached to your blessing. Tonight, before 11:59 p.m. Let that settle into your spirit. Not next week. Not someday. Not eventually. Tonight. And you might be asking yourself right now, what could possibly happen in just a few hours? Everything. Because when God moves, He does not need time the way humans do. What takes years in the natural can happen in moments in the spiritual. What feels delayed can suddenly accelerate. What seemed impossible can shift in an instant. And what you have been waiting for, praying for, silently hoping for, can arrive when you least expect it, but right when it was always meant to. And here's what makes this moment even more powerful. God is not saying get ready. God is not saying maybe. God is not saying one day. He is saying, congratulations. You understand what that means. It means something has already been approved. It means something has already been released. It means something has already been decided in your favor before you even realized it. But here's the tension, here's the reason this message carries urgency. You can still miss it. Not because it isn't yours, but because timing matters. Attention matters. Obedience matters. There are moments in life where everything aligns perfectly. But if you're distracted, if you're passive, if you brush it off as just another message, you can walk right past what was meant to change everything for you. And that is why you are being warned now. Because something is being offered to you tonight. Something specific, something personal, something that heaven has prepared with your life in mind. Not random, not generic, not for everyone, for you. And deep down you feel it, don't you? That quiet whisper saying, this might actually be for me. That slight shift in your chest. That unexplainable curiosity. That feeling that maybe, just maybe, this moment matters more than you want to admit. Hold on to that feeling. Because that is not emotion. That is recognition. Heaven is calling your attention before the moment arrives so you don't miss what has already been set aside for you. So don't rush. Don't scroll away. Don't treat this lightly. Because what happens next, what is about to unfold, will only make sense to those who stayed, those who listened, those who recognized the moment when it came. And you are still here. Which means you're already closer than you think. Type I am ready in the comments if you feel this message. Blessing code 808 is now activating around you. Now listen closer, because this is where everything begins to shift in your understanding. There is a reason why the message did not begin with a warning or a correction or even an instruction. It began with a single word that carries weight, authority, and finality. That word is congratulations. And you might have almost missed how powerful that is. Because when humans say congratulations, it usually comes after something has already happened. After the victory. After the achievement. After the result is visible. But when God says congratulations, it does not follow the rules of the natural world. It does not wait for evidence. It does not wait for confirmation. It speaks from a place beyond time, beyond delay, beyond uncertainty. When God says congratulations, it means the decision has already been made. It means something has already been approved in the spiritual realm with your name written on it. It means that what you have been hoping for is no longer a question mark. It is no longer a possibility. It is no longer something you need to beg for or chase. It has already been released. And that is why this moment feels so intense. Because you are not waiting for something to start, you are standing in the middle of something that has already begun. Think about your life for a moment. Think about the things you have been carrying silently. The desires you never fully spoke out loud. The prayers you whispered when no one was around. The moments you felt like nothing was changing, like everything was delayed, like you were being overlooked. You thought nothing was happening, but something was happening. Widely. Precisely. Strategically. Because heaven does not always move in ways you can see immediately. There are decisions made about your life long before they reach your physical reality. There are doors opened in the unseen before you ever touch the handle in the natural. There are blessings assigned to you before you even realize you are ready to receive them. And right now, you are standing at the edge of one of those moments. The word congratulations is not a suggestion. It is not encouragement. It is not motivation. It is confirmation. Confirmation that something has already shifted. Confirmation that something has already been released. Confirmation that something has already been secured for you. But here is what you must understand, and this is where many people miss it. Just because something had been released does not mean it had been received. There is a difference between what is given and what is taken hold of. There is a difference between what is available and what is accessed. And this is where your awareness becomes critical. Because tonight is not about convincing God to do something for you. Tonight is about you recognizing what has already been done. It is about you aligning yourself with something that has already been set into motion. It is about you stepping into a moment that was prepared before you even realized it was coming. This is why the message carries urgency. Because the blessing is not waiting on God anymore. It is waiting on your attention. It is waiting on your recognition. It is waiting on your willingness to stay present long enough to receive it. And you may be wondering right now, why me? Why would something like this be happening for me tonight? Because you have been positioned for it. Even in moments when you felt lost, you were being guided. Even in moments when you felt delayed, you were being aligned. Even in moments when you thought nothing was changing, everything was being prepared. Nothing about your journey has been random. Every delay, every redirection, every moment of confusion has been leading to this exact point in time. And now, the announcement has already been made. Congratulations. That means the outcome is no longer uncertain. That means the decision has already been finalized. That means the shift you have been waiting for is no longer ahead of you, it is already here, moving toward you, unfolding in ways you may not fully understand yet. But here is the final truth you must hold on to in this moment. God does not announce something prematurely. If He says congratulations, it is because it is already done. Not partially done. Not almost done. Not in progress. Done. And tonight, before 11:59 p.m., you will begin to understand exactly what that means in your life. You will begin to see what was already set in motion. You will begin to feel the shift that has already taken place. You will begin to recognize the thing that was already assigned to you. But only if you remain aware. Only if you remain present. Only if you do not treat this moment casually. Because this is not about hoping anymore. This is about receiving. And you are closer than you think. Type I receive IT in the comments if you accept this message. Blessing code 2222 is now activating around your life. Now stay with this because this is the part your spirit has been quietly waiting for, even before your mind fully understood why you couldn't scroll away. God did not say He is giving you many things tonight. He did not say something random. He did not say a general blessing. He said something very specific, that one special thing. And that changes everything. Because when Evan speaks in specifics, it means intention. It means precision. It means this is not a scattered release of blessings thrown into the air for anyone to grab. No, this is targeted. This is personal. This is designed with your life, your story, your prayers, and your silent battles in mind. That one special thing, it is not just something you want. It is something that completes a missing piece. You have felt that missing piece, haven't you? That quiet space in your life where something always felt just slightly out of place. Not enough to break you, but enough to make you wonder. Enough to make you question. Enough to make you feel like there is something more that hasn't fully arrived yet. And you tried to ignore it. You told yourself to be grateful for what you have. You told yourself not to expect too much. You told yourself that maybe this is just how life is supposed to be. But deep down, there was always a knowing, a quiet awareness that something was still meant to happen. That something was still meant to come. That something was still meant to change. That is what this is about. Because the one special thing is not random. It is connected to everything you have been through. Every delay, every disappointment, every moment where things almost worked out but didn't, every time you got close and then something shifted, every time you felt like you were reaching for something just beyond your grasp. It was not denial, it was preparation. Because if you had received this thing too early, you would not have recognized its value. If it had arrived before now, you might have overlooked it. If it had come during your confusion, you might have mishandled it. But now you are different. Now you are aware. Now you are ready in a way you were not before. And that is why it is being released tonight. This one special thing could take many forms, but it will carry one unmistakable signature. It will feel right in a way nothing else has. It will settle something inside you that has been restless for a long time. It will answer a question you have been carrying without even realizing it. It will bring a sense of clarity where there was once confusion. And most importantly, it will not feel forced. You will not have to chase it. You will not have to convince it. You will not have to struggle to make it fit into your life. Because when something is truly assigned to you by God, it arrives with alignment. It flows into place. It connects without resistance. It confirms itself without you having to question it over and over again. And when it happens, you will know. Not because someone tells you, but because something inside you recognizes it instantly. That is the power of what is being prepared for you right now. But here is where you must stay alert. because not everything that looks like an opportunity tonight will be the one special thing. There will be distractions. There will be noise. There will be moments that try to pull your attention away, that try to make you second guess, that try to keep you occupied so you miss what truly matters. This is why your awareness is everything. You must stay present. You must stay grounded. You must stay connected to that inner sense that tells you, this is it. Because the one special thing is not just about receiving something external. It is about recognizing something internal. It is about your spirit aligning with what has already been prepared for you. It is about you stepping into a moment that was designed specifically for your life. And once it arrives, once you recognize it, once you accept it, something inside you will shift permanently. You will no longer feel like you are waiting. You will no longer feel like something is missing. You will understand why everything happened the way it did. You will see how every delay was leading to this exact moment. And suddenly, everything will make sense. This is not just a gift. This is a turning point. This is a moment where something in your life moves from incomplete to complete. And it is happening tonight. So do not take this lightly. Do not dismiss this as coincidence. Do not allow yourself to be distracted at the very moment something is being placed into your life. Because this is what you have been waiting for, even if you didn't have the words to describe it. And you are closer to it now than you have ever been before. Type "I claim what is mine" in the comments if you are ready to receive it. Blessing code 3333 is now activating around your destiny. And as this moment settles into your spirit, understand this: when you receive from heaven, you are also called to become a vessel through which others receive. Every message like this reaches someone standing at the edge of their breakthrough, just like you are now. Scripture declares, "Give, and it shall be given unto you," not as a suggestion, but as a living command that unlocks divine flow. If your spirit is stirred, this is your moment to act, because your seed becomes light in someone else's darkness. Your obedience becomes healing in another soul's waiting. I hear the call within me saying, I will not hold back what God has placed in my hands. Right now, step into alignment by supporting this mission through Super Thanks or the PayPal link in the description, even the QR code placed before you. This is not a donation. It is a prophetic act that multiplies truth across lives you may never see, but heaven counts. Release it now, and watch how God releases back into you. Now listen carefully, because this is where the tone shifts, and it must shift. Up until now, you have heard about what is being given, what is being prepared, what is already yours. But there is another side to this moment that cannot be ignored, and it is the reason this message carries urgency instead of comfort. Because not every blessing is automatic. Not every opportunity waits forever. And not every divine moment repeats itself. There are times in life when everything aligns perfectly, when heaven opens a window so precise, so intentional, that it carries the power to change the direction of your life in a single moment. But those windows, they do not stay open indefinitely. They require response. They require awareness. They require you to recognize what is happening while it is happening. And this is where many people lose what was meant for them. Not because it was taken away. Not because they were unworthy. But because they were distracted. Delay is not always obvious. It does not always look like rejection. It does not always feel like loss. Sometimes, delay looks like scrolling past something important. Sometimes, it looks like saying, I will come back to this later. Sometimes, it feels like ignoring that quiet nudge in your spirit because you are tired, because you are busy, because you do not feel like engaging in the moment. But the truth is, this delay is one of the most subtle ways people disconnect from what was meant for them. And tonight, Delay is the only thing standing between you and what has already been released. You must understand something deeply here. God is not withholding anything from you. The blessing has already been spoken. The decision has already been made. The congratulations has already been declared. But there is still a moment of alignment required on your side. There is still a moment where you must choose to be present. Because if you are not present, you cannot recognize. If you do not recognize, you cannot receive. And if you do not receive, it will feel as though nothing happened even though everything was ready to happen. That is the danger. Not that the blessing disappeared, but that it passes unnoticed. And you move on with your life thinking nothing changed, when in reality, something was placed right in front of you, waiting for your attention. This is why the message says, if you ignore this, you will miss it. Not as a threat, but as a truth. Because God does not force His way into your awareness. He presents, He aligns, He positions. But He allows you to respond. And tonight is a response moment. There will be distractions around you. There will be noise. There will be things that try to pull your focus away, things that seem urgent but are not important, things that seem familiar but carry no real value. And if you are not careful, you will give your attention to what is loud instead of what is meaningful. And by the time you realize it, the moment will have passed. This is not about fear. This is about clarity. Because you have reached a point in your life where your attention determines your direction, where what you focus on begins to shape what you experience, where being present in the right moment matters more than chasing 1,000 other things. And tonight this is the right moment. You do not need to do anything complicated. You do not need to perform. You do not need to prove anything. All you need to do is remain aware. Remain open. Remain attentive to what is unfolding around you and within you. Because the one special thing will not force itself into your life loudly. It will arrive with a sense of quiet certainty. And if you are distracted, you will overlook it. If you are passive, you will miss it. If you treat this moment casually, you will walk past it. And later you will not even realize why something feels unchanged. This is why this message found you before the moment arrives. This is your preparation. This is your alert. This is your opportunity to shift from passive to aware, from distracted to present, from uncertain to aligned. Because once the moment passes, it does not announce that it has left. It simply moves on. And those who were ready step into something new, while those who were not continue where they were. But you are not here by accident. You are hearing this because you are being given the chance to respond differently. To stay. To recognize. To receive. So do not delay. Do not tell yourself you will think about this later. Do not assume there will be another moment exactly like this one. Because this moment is specific. This moment is timed. This moment is already in motion. And you are standing right in front of it. Type "I will not miss my moment" in the comments if you are choosing awareness now. Lesson code 4444 is now activating around your path. Now listen, because this is where the urgency becomes undeniable, and the timing begins to reveal its deeper meaning. There is a reason the message did not simply say tonight, and did not leave it open-ended. It did not allow for vague interpretation. It gave you a specific moment, a precise boundary, a defined line in time, before 11:59 p.m. And that is not random, because heaven does not operate in confusion. It operates in timing. There are moments in life when time feels ordinary, when hours pass without significance, when days blend together without anything truly shifting. But then there are moments like this. moments where time becomes charged, moments where a specific hour carries weight, moments where a window opens, and what happens within that window determines what happens next. This is one of those moments. You must understand something deeply here. Time, in the natural world, moves forward in a straight line. Seconds turn into minutes, minutes into hours, hours into days. But in the spiritual realm, time is not just movement, it is opportunity. It is alignment. It is activation. And tonight, there is an activation attached to a deadline. 11:59 p.m. is not just the end of a day. It is the closing of a window. It is the final second before a shift. It is the moment where one phase ends and another begins. And what happens before that moment determines what carries over into what comes next. That is why this is so important. Because what is being released to you is not floating endlessly in time. It is connected to this window. It is aligned with this moment. It is designed to meet you while this spiritual door is open. And once the door closes, the moment moves forward. This is not about losing something permanently. Is it about missing the timing of something specific? And when timing is missed, things do not always return in the same way. They do not always feel the same. They do not always carry the same impact. Because timing is part of the blessing. Think about your life. Think about moments where something came at exactly the right time, and it changed everything. And then think about moments where something similar came too late, and it did not have the same effect. The difference was not the thing itself, it was the timing. And tonight the timing is everything. 11:59 p.m. represents a boundary. A line that separates what was from what is about to be. A moment where something is ready to transition, ready to move, ready to shift. And you are being positioned right before that line. Not after. Before. So you can receive what is meant to come with you into what is next. Because what happens tonight is not just about tonight. It is about what follows. It is about what opens next. It is about what changes in your awareness, your direction, your understanding moving forward. This is a setup for something beyond this moment. But the entry point is now. And this is why the message carries urgency, not pressure. Because you are not being forced, you are being invited. Invited to be present before the window closes. Invited to be aware before the shift happens. Invited to align before the next phase begins. And if you accept that invitation, if you remain aware, if you stay connected to this moment, then what is being released will move with you, will carry into what comes next, will become part of your reality in a way that feels natural, aligned, and undeniable. But if you ignore it, if you delay, if you treat this like just another passing moment, then time will still move forward, but you will move forward without recognizing what was available to you. That is the difference. Not between having and not having, but between recognizing and overlooking, between receiving and missing, between alignment and distraction. And the clock is already moving. Every minute that passes is not just time going by, it is a moment getting closer to that boundary, a moment getting closer to that shift, a moment getting closer to 11:59 p.m. And you are still here, which means you are still within the window. You are still within the moment. You are still within the opportunity. So do not rush through this. Do not lose focus now. Do not allow the noise around you to pull you away from what is unfolding. Because this is not just about watching or listening. This is about recognizing time while you are still inside of it. And when 11:59 p.m. arrives, you will either step into the next phase carrying what was meant for you, or you will step into it unaware of what you left behind. But you have been warned. You have been prepared. You have been positioned. And now the only thing that matters is your awareness within this moment. Type "I'm aligned with divine timing" in the comments if you are staying present. Lesson code 5555 is now activating over your timeline. Now listen closely, because what you are about to understand will change the way you see this moment entirely. You think you simply found this message. You think you just happened to pause at the right time. You think it was a simple decision to stop, to listen, to stay. But what if I told you it was not that simple? What if I told you that before you even reached this moment, there was already resistance trying to pull you away? Because there was. And you felt it. You felt it in the hesitation before you clicked. You felt it in the urge to scroll past. You felt it in the subtle thought that said, "This is probably nothing, keep moving." You felt it in the distractions that suddenly appeared around you. The notifications, the noise, the random pull towards something else that suddenly seemed more urgent. That was not random. That was not coincidence. That was a battle over your attention. Because your attention is one of the most valuable things you carry. What you give your attention to begins to shape your awareness. What shapes your awareness begins to shape your decisions. And what shapes your decisions begins to shape your life. So if something is about to be placed into your life, something that carries meaning, alignment, and impact, then the easiest way to prevent you from receiving it is not to block it completely. It is to distract you from it. And that is exactly what almost happened. Think about it honestly. How many times have you scrolled past things without thinking? How many moments have you ignored something that later felt important? How many times have you felt a nudge and chose something else instead? It happens quietly. It happens easily. And most of the time, you do not even realize it. But tonight is different. Because tonight your attention is being contested. There is a reason why this message feels harder to ignore. There is a reason why something inside you keeps pulling you back to it, even when your mind tries to treat it casually. There is a reason why you are still here, still listening, still following through each word. It is because something greater than distraction is holding your focus, and at the same time something is still trying to pull it away. That is the tension you are feeling right now. Because whenever something meaningful is about to enter your life, distraction increases. The noise increases. Restlessness increases. Your environment may suddenly feel more active. Your thoughts may feel more scattered. You may feel an unusual urge to check something else, to move away, to break your focus for no clear reason. That is not you losing interest. That is resistance trying to interrupt alignment. Because if you lose focus now, even briefly, you risk missing the subtle moment where everything connects. And understand this clearly: what is coming is not loud. It is not dramatic. It will not force itself into your awareness. It will arrive in a way that requires you to be present enough to notice it. And if your attention is elsewhere, even for a moment, you may overlook it completely. That is why your attention matters so much right now. Not tomorrow. Not later. Now. Because you are not just listening to a message, you are standing in the middle of a moment where something is already moving toward you. And your awareness is the only thing that determines whether you recognize it. This is why distractions feel stronger right before something meaningful happens. Because if your attention can be pulled away at the critical moment, then the opportunity passes quietly. And you move on, unaware of what was right in front of you. But you did not move on. You stayed. Even when it would have been easier to leave, you stayed. Even when your mind tried to minimize this, you stayed. Even when other things called for your attention, you stayed. And that matters more than you realize. Because every moment you remain present, you are strengthening your alignment with what is coming. Every moment you stay focused, you are moving closer to recognizing it. Every moment you resist distraction, you are stepping deeper into the moment that was prepared for you. This is not accidental. This is intentional. You are being guided to stay aware, to stay connected, to stay present long enough for something to reveal itself to you. And it will. But only to those who remain attentive. Only to those who do not allow distraction to win. Only to those who recognize that this moment is different and choose to treat it that way. To hold your focus. Do not drift now. Do not allow the noise around you to take you away from this moment. Because you have already come too far into this to step out now. You are already positioned. You are already aligned. You are already within the moment. And what comes next depends on whether you stay. Type I stay focused in the comments if you are holding your attention. Lesson code 6666 is now activating around your mind and awareness. Now take a deep breath, because this is where everything you thought was confusion begins to reveal itself as preparation. Up until this moment, you may have looked at your past days, weeks, or even months and wondered why things felt out of place. Why certain doors did not open. Why certain plans did not work out the way you expected. Why some connections faded. Why some opportunities slipped away. Why some answers never came when you needed them the most. It felt like delay. It felt like silence. It felt like nothing was happening. But what if nothing was actually missing? What if everything was being arranged, just not in a way you could see at the time? Because that is exactly what has been happening. There are processes that do not happen in front of you. There are movements that take place beyond your awareness. There are alignments that occur behind the scenes, where pieces are being shifted, removed, adjusted, and repositioned without you even realizing it. And while you were looking at what was not working, something else was being prepared. Carefully, intentionally, specifically for this moment. Think about the times when something did not go your way. When you expected a certain outcome and it simply did not happen. You questioned it. You tried to understand it. You may have even felt frustrated or confused, wondering why things were not aligning the way you thought they should. But what you could not see then is that those very moments were protecting this one. Because not everything you wanted was meant to stay connected to your path. Not everything that seemed right at the time was actually aligned with where you are being led now. And if those things had worked out the way you wanted, they would have interfered with what is being released tonight. This is why preparation often feels like loss. Because things are being removed before something else can be placed. This is why preparation often feels like delay. Because timing is being adjusted before alignment can occur. And this is why preparation often feels like silence. Because not everything that is happening needs to be announced while it is being arranged. You were being prepared even when you thought you were being held back. You were being aligned even when you felt uncertain. You were being guided even when you did not understand the direction. And now, all of that preparation is leading to this exact moment. Nothing was wasted. Not a single experience. Not a single delay. Not a single unanswered question. Everything had been part of a process that was moving you into position for what is about to happen. Because the one special thing you are about to receive requires you to be exactly where you are right now. Not earlier. Not later. Now. That is why certain things had to fall away. That is why certain paths had to close. That is why certain people had to distance. That is why certain plans had to shift. Because if they had remained, you would not be standing in the right place to receive what is coming. And this is where clarity begins to replace confusion. Because when you look back, you will start to see the pattern. You will begin to understand why things unfolded the way they did. You will realize that what felt like disruption was actually direction. What felt like loss was actually repositioning. What felt like uncertainty was actually preparation in motion. And suddenly it will all make sense. This is how alignment works. It does not always feel smooth while it is happening. It does not always look clear while it is unfolding. But when the moment arrives, everything connects. And that moment is now. You are no longer in the preparation phase. You are in the receiving phase. But the preparation is what made this possible. Without it, you would not recognize what is being given. Without it, you would not value what is being placed in your life. Without it, you might have overlooked it entirely. But now you are ready. Not because everything is perfect. Not because you have everything figured out. But because you have been shaped, adjusted, and positioned through everything you have experienced. And that is enough. That is exactly what was required. So do not question your past anymore. Do not doubt the path that brought you here. Do not wonder if things should have happened differently. Because if they had, you would not be here, in this moment, ready to receive what is coming. And what is coming fits perfectly into the space that was created through everything you have been through. That is not coincidence. That is design. That is preparation. That is alignment. And now it is about to reveal itself. Type "I trust the process" in the comments if you understand this now. Blessing code 7777 is now activating across your journey. Now listen carefully, because what is about to unfold is not just something you will see, it is something you will feel. Up until now, everything has been building quietly. The preparation, the alignment, the positioning, it has all been happening beneath the surface, almost invisible, almost unnoticeable. But tonight is different. Tonight, something shifts from internal to external. And when that shift happens, it will not just register in your mind. It will hit your emotions. It will move through your spirit. It will settle into your heart in a way that feels undeniable. Because the moment you recognize the one special thing, the moment it becomes clear to you, there will be a release. A release you did not even realize you were holding back. You see, you have been carrying more than you admit. You have been holding tension, uncertainty, quiet questions, and unspoken expectations. Even when you tried to stay positive, even when you told yourself everything would work out, there was still a part of you waiting, watching, wondering when something would finally shift. That waiting created weight. Not heavy enough to break you, but present enough to stay with you. And tonight that weight lifts. Not gradually, not slowly, but in a moment. Because when something aligns the way it is meant to, it brings clarity. And clarity is a way of dissolving everything that once felt confusing. It answers questions you did not know how to ask. It settles doubts you tried to ignore. It replaces uncertainty with understanding. And when that happens, your emotions respond instantly. There will be a moment where you feel it. A sudden sense of relief. A quiet but powerful wave of happiness. A feeling that something has finally clicked into place. And it may catch you off guard. Because it will not feel forced. It will not feel exaggerated. It will feel natural. It will feel right. It will feel like something inside you has been waiting for this exact moment to breathe fully again. That is the emotional release. That is the joy that is being spoken about. Not surface-level happiness. Not temporary excitement. But a deeper sense of peace mixed with certainty, mixed with quiet fulfillment. The kind of feeling that does not need to be explained to anyone else. The kind of feeling that simply settles into you and stays. And here is what makes it even more powerful. This joy will not come from something overwhelming or chaotic. It will come from something that aligns so perfectly, so smoothly, that it feels like it was always meant to be there. Because it was. and that is why it feels the way it does. You may not even react loudly. You may not even express it outwardly at first, but inside something will shift. Something will soften. Something will open. And you will know. You will know that this is what you were waiting for. Even if you could not describe it before. Even if you did not fully understand it until now. That is the kind of joy that is being released tonight. And it will come at the exact moment you recognize what has been placed in your life. Not before. Not after. In that moment. Which is why your awareness still matters. Because the emotional release is tied to recognition. If you do not recognize it, you will not feel it. But if you stay present, if you stay aware, if you allow yourself to fully experience the moment, then the joy will come naturally. It will not need to be forced. It will not need to be created. It will simply arrive. And when it does, it will confirm everything you have just heard. It will confirm that this moment was real. It will confirm that this message was not random. It will confirm that something has truly shifted. And that confirmation will stay with you. Long after tonight passes. Long after the moment itself is gone. Because once something aligns this deeply, it changes the way you move forward. You no longer feel uncertain in the same way. You no longer question things the same way. You carry a sense of knowing that was not there before. That is the lasting impact of what is happening tonight. It is not just about a moment of happiness. It is about a shift in your emotional state, your awareness, your understanding of where you are and where you are going. And once that shift happens, you cannot go back to how things felt before. Because now you will know what alignment feels like. And that changes everything. So allow yourself to feel it when it comes. Do not suppress it. Do not question it. Do not try to analyze it too quickly. Just let it happen. Because this is part of what has been prepared for you. And it is arriving right on time. Type "I receive this JOY" in the comments if you are ready for this emotional shift. Blessing code 8888 is now activating within your heart. And as this joy begins to rise within you, understand this sacred truth: when light touches your life, it is meant to flow through you into others still waiting in darkness. Every message you receive is a seed, and every seed has the power to multiply across souls who are standing at the edge of their own breakthrough. The word declares, "Those who sow in faith shall reap in abundance," and this is not a distant promise. It is a living command over your life right now. I feel the stirring within me saying, I will be a vessel for this light. I will help this reach someone else tonight. This is your moment to act. Not later, not eventually, but now, while your spirit is aligned. Support this mission through Super Thanks with a PayPal link in the description, even through the QR code placed before you, because your giving becomes a river that carries truth into hearts you may never see. Do not hesitate. Release your seed and let heaven respond to your obedience. Now this is the moment where everything becomes personal. Up until now, you have been listening. You have been absorbing. You have been following along, allowing the message to unfold piece by piece. But this is where the shift happens from hearing to responding. Because every divine moment carries a test. Not a test of strength, not a test of ability, but a test of obedience. And obedience is not always loud. It is not always dramatic. It is not always visible to others. Sometimes, obedience is simply the decision to stay when it would be easier to leave. Sometimes, it is choosing to take something seriously when your mind tries to dismiss it. Sometimes, it is responding to a quiet inner nudge instead of following the louder distractions around you. That is where you are right now. Because at any point you could have scrolled away. At any point you could have said, "This is not important." At any point you could have chosen something else to focus on, but you did not. You are still here. And that matters. Because this moment is not just about what is being given, it is about how you respond to what is being given. There is a difference between hearing something and acting on it. There is a difference between recognizing a moment and stepping into it. And that difference is what determines the outcome. You see, obedience is not about understanding everything fully. It is not about having complete clarity before you move. It is about recognizing when something is meant for you and choosing to align with it, even if you cannot explain it completely. And tonight you are being given that choice. To respond, or to ignore, to stay aware, or to drift away, to take this moment seriously, or to treat it casually. And the truth is, no one else can make that decision for you. Not this message. Not anyone around you. Only you. Because what is being placed in front of you requires your participation. It requires your willingness to be present. It requires your decision to engage with the moment instead of letting it pass. And this is where many people fall short. Not because they are incapable, but because they hesitate. They second guess. They overthink. They wait for more confirmation. They tell themselves they will come back to it later. And in doing so, they miss the moment entirely. But you are not doing that. You are here. You are engaged. You are following through. And that is already a sign of alignment. Because obedience often begins with attention. It begins with staying when you could leave. It begins with listening when you could ignore. It begins with choosing to remain present when distraction is easier. And that is exactly what you are doing right now. But do not stop here. Because obedience is not just about starting, it is about continuing. It is about carrying this awareness with you beyond this moment. It is about staying connected to what you are feeling right now, even as time moves forward. Because the real test is not just whether you listen to this message. It is whether you remain aware when the moment arrives. It is whether you recognize what is being placed in your life tonight. It is whether you respond to it or overlook it. And that response will determine everything. Not in a dramatic or overwhelming way, but in a subtle, powerful shift that changes how things unfold from this point forward. Because when you respond in alignment, things flow. When you respond with awareness, things connect. When you respond with intention, things settle into place. But when you hesitate, when you ignore, when you allow distraction to take over, things remain the same. Not because nothing was offered, but because the moment was not received. And that is why this is a test. Not to pressure you, but to reveal your readiness. To reveal whether you are willing to step into what is being given or remain where you are. And right now you are showing that you are ready. You are showing that you are willing to stay. You are showing that you are choosing awareness over distraction. And the choice is already moving you closer to what is coming. So hold on to that. Do not shift now. Do not lose focus now. Because you are not just observing this moment, you are participating in it. And your response matters more than you realize. Type "I choose to respond" in the comments if you are stepping into this moment fully. Blessing code 9999 is now activating over your decisions. Now listen, because this is where the true impact of this moment begins to unfold. Everything you have heard so far has been leading to this understanding. Tonight is not just about receiving something in the moment, it is about what changes after the moment passes. Because when something aligns the way it is about to align for you, it does not leave you the same. There is always a shift. Not always visible to others immediately. Not always dramatic on the outside, but undeniable within you. And that shift will begin tonight. You see, there are moments in life where things happen and then fade away, leaving little to no lasting effect. Temporary excitement, temporary satisfaction, temporary change. But this is not one of those moments. This is a turning point. A point where something inside you settles into a new position. A point where something that once felt uncertain becomes clear. A point where something that once felt incomplete becomes whole. And once that happens, you do not return to how things were before. Because clarity changes how you see everything. Think about it. When you truly understand something, when something finally makes sense, you cannot go back to not knowing it. You cannot pretend it did not happen. You cannot unsee what has been revealed to you. That is what this shift is like. It is not just about what you receive, it is about what you realize. Because the moment you recognize the one special thing, the moment it connects within you, something deeper will change. Your perspective will shift. Your awareness will expand. Your sense of direction will become clearer. Things that once felt confusing will no longer carry the same weight. Things that once distracted you will no longer hold your attention in the same way. And most importantly, you will begin to move differently. Not because you are trying to change, but because something inside you has already changed. That is the nature of a true shift. It does not require effort. It does not require force. It simply happens and everything else begins to follow. And this is why tonight matters beyond just the moment itself. Because what you receive tonight will carry forward into everything that comes next. Into your decisions. Into your actions. Into your mindset. Into the way you respond to situations. Into the way you recognize opportunities. Into the way you trust your own awareness. Because once alignment happens, it leaves a mark. A mark that stays with you. A mark that reminds you what clarity feels like. A mark that allows you to recognize it again in the future. And that is how transformation begins. Not through one single event, but through a shift that changes how you experience everything moving forward. This is what is being set in motion for you. Not just a moment of happiness. Not just a single experience. But a change in your internal state that influences everything that follows. And you may not even notice it immediately. It may feel subtle at first. A slight sense of calm where there was once tension. A quiet confidence where there was once doubt. A feeling of certainty where there was once hesitation. But as time moves forward, you will begin to see it more clearly. You will notice how you react differently. How you think differently. How you move through situations with more clarity. How things that once felt complicated now feel simple. That is the shift expanding. That is the alignment continuing. That is the effect of what begins tonight carrying forward into your life. And here is what you must understand. This shift is not something you need to chase. It is not something you need to create. It is something that happens as a result of you being present in this moment. As a result of you recognizing what is being given. As a result of you allowing yourself to receive without resistance. That is all that is required. Presence. Awareness. Willingness. And once that is in place, the shift takes care of itself. It unfolds naturally. It settles into you. It becomes part of how you experience your life moving forward. So do not underestimate what is happening tonight. Do not think of it as something small or temporary, because what begins tonight will continue beyond tonight. It will carry into tomorrow, into the next day, into the next phase of your life. And you will look back at this moment and realize this is where something changed. This is where something shifted. This is where everything began to align in a way that made sense. And you will know you were present for it. Type "I embrace this shift" in the comments if you are stepping into this transformation. Blessing code 1010 is now activating across your future. Now listen closely, because this is where uncertainty is removed completely. You may be wondering, how will I know? How will I be sure that what was spoken about, what was promised, has actually happened? And that question is natural, because your mind seeks clarity. It seeks confirmation. It wants to recognize the moment with certainty, not confusion. It wants to be sure that what you experience is not coincidence, not imagination, not something you created on your own. And this is where you can rest, because what is coming does not need to be forced, and it will not leave you questioning endlessly. There will be signs, clear signs, not loud in a chaotic way, but undeniable in a precise way. Because when something aligns through divine timing, it carries its own confirmation. It confirms itself. You will not have to chase clarity. Clarity will come to you. And the first sign will be internal. It will begin within you. Before anything fully unfolds on the outside, you will feel a shift on the inside. A sense of calm where there was once tension. A sense of knowing where there was once doubt. A quiet confidence that does not need to explain itself. This is important, because external signs can sometimes be misinterpreted, but internal alignment cannot. When something is right, you feel it, not as excitement alone, but as certainty. A grounded, steady awareness that says, this is it. That is your first confirmation. And then the external signs begin to appear. They will not be random. They will connect. You may notice something aligning in a way that feels too precise to ignore. A conversation that happens at the exact right time. A message that carries exactly what you needed to hear. An opportunity that fits so naturally into your life that it feels like it was always meant to be there. It will not feel forced. It will not feel complicated. It will not require you to struggle to make it work. Instead, it will flow. That is your second confirmation. Flow. Because what is meant for you does not create confusion when it arrives. It brings clarity. It simplifies things. It removes the need to overthink. It settles into your life in a way that feels aligned. And you will notice something else. There will be no inner resistance. You will not feel the need to question it repeatedly. You will not feel the need to analyze every detail. You will not feel unsure about whether to accept it. Instead, you will feel ready. That is your third confirmation. Readiness. Not forced readiness, but natural readiness. The kind that comes from being prepared without even realizing it. And this is where everything connects back to what you have already heard. Because the preparation you went through, the delays, the adjustments, the quiet shifts in your life, all of it has brought you to a place where you are able to recognize this moment when it arrives. That is why you will know. Not because someone tells you, but because everything within you aligns with it. And there is one more sign you must be aware of. Peace. Not temporary peace. Not surface-level calm. But a deeper sense of stillness that settles within you after the moment happens. A feeling that everything is in place. A feeling that there is nothing missing. A feeling that you no longer need to search for what you were waiting for. That is the final confirmation. Because true alignment always carries peace. Not chaos. Not confusion. Not uncertainty. Peace. And when that peace arrives, you will understand. You will understand why this message reached you. You will understand why the timing mattered. You will understand why you were told to stay aware. Because everything will have connected. Everything will have made sense. And you will realize that nothing about this was random. It was all intentional. It was all precise. It was all leading to this moment of recognition. So when it happens, do not question it. Do not overthink it. Do not try to analyze it too deeply. Just acknowledge it. Just accept it. Just allow yourself to experience it fully, because that is how you receive it completely. And once you do, there will be no doubt left. Only clarity. Only certainty. Only alignment. Type I see the signs in the comments if you are ready to recognize this moment. Blessing code 1111 is now activating around your awareness. Now this is it. This is the final moment where everything comes together. You have heard the message. You have felt the pull. You have followed through each step, each layer, each revelation. And now you stand at the edge of the moment itself. Not before it. Not after it. Right here. This is where everything becomes real. Because there comes a point where listening is no longer enough. There comes a point where understanding must turn into action. There comes a point where awareness must become decision. And this is that point. You are no longer being prepared. You are no longer being positioned. You are no longer being guided toward the moment. You are in it. Right now. And what you do with this moment determines what happens next. Because moments like this do not repeat themselves in the same way. They do not come back unchanged. They do not wait for you to be ready later. They arrive, they open, and then they move forward. And this one is already in motion. You can feel it. A sense of urgency that has been building from the beginning. That quiet awareness that this is not something to take lightly. That inner voice telling you, stay with this. Do not miss this. That is not pressure. That is recognition. Because your spirit knows what your mind is still processing. Your spirit knows this moment matters. And now, everything comes down to one simple truth. Will you stay present or will you drift away? Will you remain aware or will you allow distraction to take over? Will you recognize what is being placed in your life tonight or will you overlook it and move on as if nothing happened? This is the final call. Not to convince you, not to force you, but to remind you that you are here for a reason, that you have stayed this long for a reason, that something has been guiding your attention to this exact moment for a reason, and that reason is about to reveal itself before 11:59 p.m. That is the boundary. That is the window. That is the moment where everything connects. And you are standing right before it. So do not rush away now. Do not disconnect now. Do not allow yourself to lose focus at the very point where everything is about to come together. Because what you are about to experience will not announce itself loudly. It will arrive quietly. It will settle naturally. It will reveal itself in a way that only you will fully understand. And if you are present, you will recognize it instantly. If you are aware, you will receive it completely. If you are aligned, you will step into it without hesitation. And in that moment, everything you have just heard will make sense. Not as words, but as experience. You will feel it. You will know it. You will recognize it. And there will be no doubt left. Only clarity. Only alignment. Only the quiet certainty that something has shifted and you were present for it. This is your moment. Do not treat it casually. Do not assume there will be another one exactly like it. Do not allow distraction to take you away from what is already unfolding. Because you are not waiting anymore. You are receiving. Right now. And as the final seconds of this day move closer, remember this. You were warned. You were prepared. You were positioned. And now you are being called to step fully into what has already been given. So stay aware. Stay ready. Because what is yours is already on its way to you. And you are exactly where you need to be to receive it. Type I receive IT now in the comments if you are fully present in this moment. Blessing code 1212 is now activating across your entire life. And as you stand in this final moment, understand this sacred truth: what God places in your hands is never meant to stop with you. It is meant to flow through you into the lives of others still waiting in darkness. Every seed you release becomes a torch that lights another soul's path, just as this message has reached you at the perfect time. The word declares, "Cast your bread upon the waters, and it shall return to you multiplied." And this is not distant scripture. It is a living command over your life right now. I feel the stirring within me saying, I will move when God moves. I will give as heaven leads me. This is your moment to act with urgency. Not later, not tomorrow, but now, while your spirit is aligned and open. Support this mission through Super Thanks or the PayPal link in the description, or even the QR code placed on your screen, because your giving becomes a river that carries God's voice to hearts that are crying out for answers. Step into this prophetic act now, release your seed, and watch how heaven releases back into your life.